Okay, in this video we're going to talk about installing vmwaretools, and well, we'll just do vmwaretools, and I'll make a separate video for vboxtools. In both cases, in a GUI-less environment. If you're trying to do this in a GUI environment, you could like untar the tarball, the vmwaretools. And also copy and paste will then work. In this case, this is not for copy and paste because we're in a environment without a clipboard. There's no active clipboard running in a CLI interface. So what we're going to have to do, this is primarily so we can get a shared drive, so we can then share our devices. So that reminds me, in my VMware settings, I forgot to take out one thing because I've done it before. I'm going to have to take out the share drive, which is under options here, share folders. I'll disable it, and then we can actually tell you what, I'll delete this, and then I'll recreate it. Okay. Alright. Now that's done, let's look at getting it on the system. So first thing you need to do is mount the CD-ROM. Right now nothing seems to be mounted in CD-ROM, which is fine. It seems not to be connected. It isn't. So what we'll do is mount. Now let me browse out to it actually. Again, I'm on Windows. So if we go into the program files of VMware, so x86, VMware, VM workstation, I'm sorry, player, we're in player. And there's the tools and upgraders. We don't want the upgrader, we want the tools. Okay, so this one right here, I don't think it's under, yeah, it's not under resources. I'm just making sure I'm put in the right place. So ISO. Alright, and then we mount it. Hit OK. Now, since we're in a Linux box, if we want to, and we have to connect it. That's the other thing I forgot. Find my mouse, right click, because there we go, settings, and connect it. That way we can actually use it. There we go. Now we have a CD-ROM, and now it's got that. So I can CD into dev. So here we see the devices on the, including CD-ROM, which we then have to mount. So again, we're not in our Kali boxes. We need to use sudo. So sudo mounts dev CD-ROM, and we're going to mount that to a media. In this case, I'm going to do it to my user. So JJAlves. I should probably do the universal. Make sure it starts with a slash. And then we got CD-ROM. Alright, so if and that file already exists, so you might have to create that file. I might need to create that file. Just because it's in my notes doesn't mean it exists. There it is, it doesn't exist. So if I CD into my user profile, ls, oh no, it's actually in media. If I CD into media, oops. Again, I got to make sure I use the forward. So I'm CDing into media, and if I do ls here, I have CD-ROM. Oh, there's no JJAlves. So that's where I messed up. So sudo mount dev, which makes sense, or why would there be a JJAlves there? All right. So there we are, media CD-ROM, and it's write protected. That's fine. Now if I do ls, I'm in CD-ROM. I can actually CD into the CD-ROM. And that folder now is a root entry, is a mounted way into the contents of the CD-ROM. So if I do an ls, this is what was on that CD-ROM. So what I want to do here is now copy the stuff. So I got to give it a landing place. What I'll do is I'll CD into my my home folder. That's fine. ls, there's nothing here. I'm going to make a directory, mkdir. We'll just call it VM tools. There we go. Let me clear, get to the back to the top of the screen, And then what I'm going to do is, so I've made a directory called vmtools. If I do a ls, there it is. If I do a lsl, I'll see the permissions. Good, fantastic. I can read and write and everything. So now I want to copy the contents of that cd-rom. So I copy media. I can tab that out. cd-rom, star, do everything. -r, recursive. And just to make it look cool, we'll do a -v, so it's verbose. I forgot to give the location. I'm going to do I'll just do a little mark there to make it my home, and I think I called it vmtools. There you go. I tabbed it out to make sure. So there you go. I'm going to copy everything that's in the cd-rom directory, the mount point, over to my vmtools folder that's in my home folder. That's what that little tilde means. It's going to be recursive, so it's going to read everything in that folder. And -v, it's going to be verbose. It's going to show me all the information, so it's going to look cool. There you go. Was it truly recursive? Because I thought I expected more data than that. But that's all we got. So there it is. All right. Says cannot create regular file. So let's sudo that. And I think it is a capital R for recursive. Let me make sure. So I'm going to cp and I'll do help. Again, anyone who says they have everything memorized all the time is lying. Cd help. We'll do the more. That way I can go through it. It's either. Okay, so it's either capital R or lowercase r. So that's why I was getting confused. Good. All right. So I'm going to sudo this because I was getting some permissions denied. There we go. Much better. All right. So now, if I go into my home folder /vmtools, there I am, and I have down here in the middle. Let me clear and do that again because I'm on the bottom of the screen. So if I do a ls, there's vmwaretools. 10, it's a tar ball. That's what I meant by tar earlier. So now I have to untar it. For whatever reason, I'm very comfortable with tar commands. I don't know why. It's probably all the switches. Z, X, verbose, and F. And then I give it the tar file. So in this case, it's going to be vmwaretools. There you go. I tabbed it out. All right, that should create a directory. There it is. The directory is that vmwaretools distribution right there. So if I do a clear, and I'll do an ls, and we'll do an L. I'm going to cd into vmwaretools distro. Or not distro, but distrib for distribution. I'm going to cd into that ls. And I can run this VMware install. So make sure you do that as a sudo because you're going to need those permissions. VMware install.pl. It was acting like I typed something wrong. I did. I missed the W. VMware. I couldn't tab it out, so I knew something was wrong. There you go. Otherwise, it would tab out. There you go. So there you go. So I'm going to run this. We're going to accept all the defaults. I don't have to type yes. If the default is yes, I'm hitting yes. Done. Complete. Installing vmwaretools. Where would you like it? US bin. I've hit entered. I've hit entered. I've hit enter. I'm taking all the defaults. I'm hitting enter. Everything in the bracket there is the default. I'm just accepting it. That's fine. Does not exist currently. The program is going to create it. Would you need? Is this what you want? Sure. Yes. Which directory do you want to install the documentation files? Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Now this vmhgfs files, the FS is for file system, is what's going to allow us to share. Making sure services stop. Done. Yes, I've already installed it. You won't see this. The VMware host guest file system, that's what the vmhgfs stands for, allows for shared folders. This is what we absolutely want, so yes. Matter of fact, I'll type it out, yes. Even though that was default, I didn't have to do that. So it does give me a warning about that. So it does say that I need to run the configuration tool. Sometimes this happens. No drivers were installed. I was running into this issue, and this is what I needed to do. So if I go the untar directory, so that was what I need to run is VMware config tools PL. Oh, I gotta run that as super user sudo. Okay, and that's what that's supposed to run. And it says it doesn't install drivers, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Now, what I can do to verify that is, I now need to go into the virtual software and select player, manage. In the settings, under options, I can tell it to make a shared folder for that. So we're always going to enable, I have to reboot, but I'll do this now. I'm going to add a folder, next. The host path, we'll just call it, so this is where I have it on my local directory. I think I based it off virtual machines. Yeah, share. I gave it for all my virtual machines. So there I created a folder called share. I created this folder. So you can create that folder. You can point it to whatever folder you want. I just like to keep it clean and have it as its own folder. I'm going to just name it share, SHR. That's good for me. Smaller the better. Enable the share, fantastic. It's not going to be read-only because we do need to copy files over to it. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to restart this system. They do tell you to reboot often, so I'm going to do a shutdown. -R for restart, and I'm going to tell it to do it now, not to wait. Hopefully we don't get we've been having an issue with the, okay, good, it's been working for me. Actually, this is where I run into issues. Because I did the YAML thing first, I think something's timing out on the YAML, and yep, cloud in it. Oh, that's all right. So anyway, something's been timing out and taking a long time to initialize, I think. Here it is, network to be configured. Can I control C that? Can I enter it? Can I escape it? No, I'm stuck with it. So I'll let this thing goes for a minute or two, so I'm not going to waste your time. I'll restart the video once it's done. It has to do with the way the YAML is set up and the fact that I'm on a network with no internet, and there's something wrong with the network configuration. So I'll pause it and I'll take it back once it goes. All right. See you, give me 2 seconds. Well, you won't see me at all. I'll be right back. Okay, I came back up. I just missed the rest of the boot up process. It's fast. I'm logging in now, and there we are. Alright, so let me get to the top. And now we should have that shared drive. The way we can test is if we cd into... No, not media. Was it? Oh, was CD in the mount? I'm trying to remember where it was. Here it is, HTFS. So under mount, HTFS, I CD into HTFS. I have share. Not the singer-songwriter, but a share folder. If I CD into the share folder, there I am. Let's just nano a file, make a file in here. I should have write privileges, so this is a test. Okay, I'm going to write it out and call it test.txt so Windows doesn't poop its pants. Does it exist already? Then no. Oh, this is me testing things out. Sorry, that's why I didn't change it. So we'll call it testy. There you go, testy.txt. Hit enter. I've just saved that file, so I'm going to Control X out. That's right, if I do ls, there's test.txt and testy. I just created testy in here. So if I go into that directory that was created, I think it's under my documents. Virtual machines, share, yep, there it is. There's a testy. This is a test. right? So essentially I have a folder now between my host machine, by the way that was Windows, not Linux, and my Linux box. It can get a little tricky. There are issues. Again, the installation doesn't always go pretty. Getting that CD-ROM to mount in there, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Sometimes this gets grayed out. It can be a little difficult at times. See, reinstall vmwaretools is grayed out for me for whatever reason. I think I selected it one time and then I couldn't do it. But this should be located under VMware Player. It is the Linux.iso is the install disk located in VMware Player. All right, I think that covers the video. I'll post this one, and I'm going to make one about VBox, and we'll keep going. Thanks. Bye.